Okay, welcome everyone to the Toku Portal podcast. It's me, Zero here, solo this time. Yeah, the rest of the crew were kind of busy, or in Vashi's case, maybe sick. So, hopefully they'll join us next time. But in the meantime, I guess this will be just a short episode with me just here. Um, Kind of ashamed too, because this is actually a pretty decent episode. Um, and yeah, like we might have been a little too harsh on this show, or maybe I was just a little too harsh on the show last episode. But like, if they planned it out as a two-parter, like this second episode definitely delivered. Like, it's not the most amazing thing in the world or anything, but it was a fairly solid episode, and that's good. Like, the show is finally starting to get its footing. You know, it seems that like the anniversary shit was really what was kind of really limiting it. Um, Now we're getting new characters and like plot that's focused on Zi-O primarily. It's starting to get decent. I mean, not great, but it's a good start for the most part. Um, yeah, so I guess we'll just get into this episode. I'm not gonna really go like beat by beat because like some stuff happened, but it's mostly like it all just kind of connects back to itself by the end. Um, yeah, basically, um, so now there's two wars. Yes, frick, I'm so bad at names. Anyway, right, I've decided to name the original one Black Wars and the new one White. I'm just gonna use the colors because freaking names for all these characters are gonna get annoying. Um, right. He seems to have a thing where, like, I mean, in the first episode he showed up, he was a lot creepier. And here it's like, yeah, he's trying to do the right thing. Like, you can see like how he could kind of be a good guy or be at least neutral. Well, not neutral, but like, more of like an anti-hero kind of character. So that came across in this episode. That was decent. Um, and then you also kind of see like the time jackers are still trying to deal with what the fuck is going on uh, with like the second, like, basically White showing up. Um, but yeah, that was interesting. So Mr. Blue Time Jacker Kid, he's still a little freaked out, but like at least you're starting to see like the more like human side of these guys because they're like freaking out and stuff. But they still try to help out. Black War is still trying to figure out what the fuck is going on. Schwartz is kind of doing Schwartz stuff, which is like messing with everything in the background, kind of. I mean, he was in the forefront this episode, but um, yeah, that's interesting. That like even his plan, that like it was a decent plan, but like it failed. Um, I'm just rambling random points now. Um, yeah, so I guess I'll go from the point. From the beginning. Another shinobi is still running around. When they defeat him, Schwartz shows up and keeps powering him up. Well, not powering him up, but just resetting his watch so he becomes another shinobi again and again. Until, like, at the end when he's just, like, had it. And he's like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm just going to rely on my own power. I don't want to do this anymore. Zi-O tries to help him, but he can't because, like, what are you gonna do, right? Like, without going to the time that the watch is from and inheriting the watch's power, he can't really do anything. I mean, he does get a okay fight, um, but he gets to do a nice rider kick, which was pretty awesome. Too bad it didn't like defeat the guy outright, but hey, you know what? You get what you can get, and that was a really good rider kick. Um, Yeah, you see him in like the original Wars, Black Wars, just like dealing with what's going on, them realizing that like yeah, they have to face the facts that like there's so many people running around messing with the timeline that like realistically the only people who like want to do exactly what Sogo says or like keep the timeline the same way is just Black Wars and Sogo. And so they had to like kind of basically have that heart to heart realization where it's like, yeah, there's a lot of people running around, a lot of shit going on. Like at the end of the day, like the only people who are gonna be on the same page that Sogo wants and stuff is like Black Wars and him. So that was nice. They kind of had that heart to heart. Also, that bridge, I feel like I've seen that somewhere. Um, or over, yeah, like that pedestrian crossing bridge thing. Um, right. And then, yeah, Schwartz is, messing around and stuff. Like he had a good idea, but like even he got outplayed by White Wars. And then White Wars is interesting because uh, like you'd think he's kind of like a bad guy, but he's not. He's just doing what he thinks is gonna be like for the greater good of like his um basically his lord, you know, type thing, his savior person. And for him it's because he knows that like on Oma Zio Day, or Oma Day or whatever, like a rider is gonna show up, it's gonna have 3 right watches and he's gonna take down um Umazio, right? And so like he beats another shinobi, but like he just goes out and like gives Gates the watch, or he wanted to, because he's like, hey, this is for you. I know you're a good guy. I trust you. Here's your watch. It's written that this is what you're gonna do in the future. I'm just helping you out. That was interesting. Also that he's like as much as he is trying to take down like Sogo, he's not like self-centered enough to like just use the watch for himself or try to take out Sogo right then and there. So it's interesting. Like he has restraint, even though he has all this power. We'll see if he like has a character arc where that changes or whatnot. But yeah, interesting right there. Um, and then like we haven't seen the silver time jacker, but I think she's in the next episode, so that's gonna be interesting. Um, yeah, and I guess the only ones left are Tsukiyomi and Gates. It was nice to see them also have like a heart to heart where they're like realizing like, yeah, the timeline's already changed with them fucking around. It's like, what do they want to do now? Because like if they keep going, like they might end up in a future, like a future might be created where they totally don't belong. And then so they kind of had that heart to heart, and that was kind of nice because like they're supposed to be like brother and sister, right? I think that's what it was. Yeah, but it's good that they kind of had that moment. Um, like it's the first time these two characters really felt like family and dealing with shit. Um, and it helped in like their characterization, especially after when they had the decision, like they make the decision, like now they're gonna stay in the present, and change the future, even if they don't have anywhere to return to, because that's for like the greater good or whatnot, or you know, anyway, that's their decision anyway for the time being. Also, like, uh, when White Wars shows up and tries to give Gates the right watch, Gates refuses because he's like, one, I don't trust you, and two, I'm gonna defeat him with my own power. That's good character growth, I guess. I mean, like, questionable if it's growth or not, but like it's good characterization for Gates. It seemed like everybody had really solid moments. Again, like since we've started actually focusing on the plot for this damn show, like these characters can finally grow or at least have good characterization now. So that was nice. Um, and I guess like the final character left is like Shinobi, or like another Shinobi now, but we know he's gonna become Shinobi because he's getting a mini series or at least like a episode or something's gonna happen with, and he's gonna reprise his role um, in like a production of like, I don't know, it's gonna be a miniseries or if it's gonna be a movie or something. That's gonna be for like the Toei app, sort of like, it might just be a movie, like how Beast got that Beast special that was for the Toei app. Um, yeah, so he's gonna reprise his role, which is cool. Um, Hopefully it's like a mini series because he seems like a cool enough guy. Like, decent actor, decent character. I really love how like throughout this whole episode, like at the beginning, you see he wants to help and he gets his ass kicked. And then he keeps getting like, he doesn't know exactly what he's doing, but he's trying to help people, but like he's being corrupted, and he starts slowly realizing that and gets beaten down. But then he starts like trying to believe that he'll figure it out in the future, and like at the end when he like rejects sports and everything, and like, man, like that actor did such a good job like portraying all those parts, and like how his emotion changes exactly to like his more confident future self, right, like at the end when he rejects Schwartz, and the another shinobi powers, like that was really well done. Like he did such a good job acting. I mean, like everybody fucking did a good job in this episode for acting wise, or like at least a competent one if they're not. I mean, they didn't have like amazing material to like blow people away, but like, they did like a solid enough job with the decent script that they had. Um, so yeah, again, the show seems like it's finally turning itself around. Um, Hopefully it keeps going. Yeah, we might have been a little too harsh on the last one, but the last episode, but at least in this one, it's like, okay, here's the another Wars' deal. It's like, oh, he wants to change the future. He knows this future timeline is created when like Gates, stops Amazio and Omega Day or whatever. He has 3 ride watches, so he's just trying to get ride watches and things like that. And he's just an assistant. Wars, like Black Wars, is trying to like do the original timeline. Sogo is like realizing like he can't be passive and just be like, oh, I'll be a good guy and it'll all work out. Like now, Tsukiyomi, I mean, she's not doing much, but at least she's not having negative character. I mean, she's just there to be like decent, like supporting character. So she's doing an okay job. Like the time jackers are messing around, but like at least even they're having to like, like Schwartz is having to come up with weirder and weirder things to like try to beat Zi-O, and like the other, or at least the time jacker kid seems to at least be having more character growth, so that's something, or at least you're getting more characterization with these characters. Um, yeah, we'll see what happens, especially with like, the wrench that's supposedly gonna get thrown into the mix, with what's gonna happen, or at least that's what the preview seems to imply might be happening with the next episode. So yeah, that should be good. Like hopefully it's handled well. I'm not super down on that suit next episode, but like it looks okay. Speaking of suits, like another Wars' suit, like White Wars, his rider suit, like it's freaking neon-y. But like I like the belt, like it's fun enough. I also like how it gets the purple and the scarves just in the center. I'm like, oh, that's interesting. Um, the his fight was great, man. Like them using like another shinobi and another wars, just using their powers like pretty much to the fullest and fighting it out. That was great. His weapon, that spear thing that turns into a hammer. I mean, it's basically like uh, it's basically like a Bacta robot or crow's beak. I mean, it's like a hammer and like a like a pointed thing on the end. It's basically used uh, medieval or like well after medieval, yeah, whatever, like medieval. Basically, it's designed to take out knights because knights were too armored, so they needed something that could do bludgeoning damage, like a hammer and like a point to get in between the cracks. Like whatever. I mean, it's a interesting weapon. It's a good weapon, especially when you have like things that are like armored and you're like in shows. You're always trying to like just bash shit in with like hammer. I mean, like swords and stuff. I'm like, at least use a spear or like a crow's beak, like in other words, a spear seems to be. So I'm like, at least finally the weapon gets its due. Anyway, now I'm just freaking rambling. Um, yeah, good episode. Um, hopefully the show keeps going. Hopefully the rest of the crew can join us for the next one. Um, but with that, yeah, join us next time. Tuesday for Sentai, same time, 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific, and Wednesday for Rider, same time, 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern. I know this one started a little late, but that's because technical difficulties and people's schedules and stuff. But like, hopefully we'll try to stick closer to the timeline, not be like an hour. I mean, like more than half an hour late or whatever, like this one was. But yeah, catch you guys next time.